Welcome to another Motortown post-event race commentary. Today we are here for the Grand Holiath Tour. Hoki Hoshi's first event in this game and it's utter insanity. The longest route that I've ever seen in any events in this game and also the biggest crowd of participants that I think ever happened in the history of Motortown so far. Who knows what's going to be next, but this thing is massive. We start at Dessa, we go across the entire island of Oji, doing a few detours, going into Jeju Island and across that a few times. It's a lot. I'll be talking about the route more in detail a bit later down the line. But yeah, just so you know, what you are seeing right now is the beginning of a Le Mans style start, which is a classic in real life racing from the real 24 hours of Le Mans. Basically, you start on foot across from your vehicle. Again, you can see my Focus lookalike right there in front of me. And everybody is going to wait until the countdown is over, then run into the vehicle and drive off, do the route, and that's how it goes. In real life, of course, since there are things like seatbelts that you should be putting on, it was maybe a bit more risky, but for the game, I always love seeing this one come back. Reminds me of one of my old GTA Online events. But yeah, anyways, I think it's time to get going here. So, to start out with, I need to initiate the event because I've been asked to host it, and honestly, for the entire prep work, I've been really firing on all cylinders, and my luck on that front is about to run out because as my first move, I thought I could go past the station wagon on the outside. Of course, didn't work out. There are about 15 to 20 cars behind me, so I may have caused a bit of a traffic jam there. Also, don't know what happened to that guy. um, I think the name is Mokovian. That dude had a massive lag bubble towards a few people, including me. That's going to become more important later down the line, but yeah, I had some really bad lag with a few people, and it's usually a good idea to try and stay away from them, but it doesn't help if you are largely on the same pace. So I'm gonna have to see how I can make that work. I mean, you can see some weird stuff happening right in front of me, and it was all a bit sketchy. But yeah, carnage is pretty much expected for this one. After all, look at the amount of participants. Look at the large variety of vehicles participating in here. It's actually quite amazing. And it's amazing how well it works overall, despite there being a few hiccups. But yeah, since the route is immensely long, we're not going to see any checkpoints for a while. That also means that we are not going to have any real updates on the positions for a while. Right now I'm somewhere in the midfield. I'm trying to make it the front part of the midfield, and we are going to see how well that goes. My tactic is definitely try to be cautious, try to have a decent pace but more a consistent one than trying to make the most out of every corner, because that's where you can just run off the track real easily. And yeah, as you can see on the map, there is a mix of a lot of different numbers. Right in front of me is a person who started in third, and right in front of them is number 22. I'm followed by number 18. I cannot see which position I started in, but I can only imagine that due to how I started, I might be a bit behind that. But yeah, we are going to pass by the refinery in a moment. Again, until the other end of the desert, don't expect any checkpoints or anything like that. I really had to space them out in order to make this work at all, and blocking off all the major shortcuts. So something as nice as getting some good guidance around the track, and even just the occasional update to the leaderboard wasn't always possible as much as I would have liked it to be. 50 checkpoints can only do so much for you. But yeah, we are well on our way. We are actually in a pretty stable position right now, I would say. Nobody's bothering me too much. There are some people coming in from behind, but as long as they don't mess me up too much, I should be good here. Also, the ones that were behind me a moment ago just ended up in the sand, which is really the one thing that I'm trying to avoid here under any circumstance. And yeah, the sand is also the reason why I don't need checkpoints in this area, because after all, unless you are willing to go straight north after the Dessa Harbor, you're not really going to find any shortcuts here, only despair. So I think at this point it's also a good idea to talk about a few of the extra things that are happening in this event. First up, we have an emergency repair system around different parts, especially on Oldley, where you don't really have any repair station available. We set up campies, meaning that, for example, at the different gas stations, you can go there and from there teleport to a repair station on Jeju Island. I set up a campy near one, so getting there should be really easy and quick. And then from there you can just teleport back to where you came from and resume the race from there. That should be really easy. And there's also a few challenges along the way. But I think I also should mention that the real restriction at this point for most cars is it's just take the 240 horsepower V8 or something weaker. So the inline 4 engines are eligible, but not the strongest V8 and definitely not the V12. So we are going to see that with one person in a moment, and they will end up getting kicked. They may have just missed the announcement and all of that. It was basically all explained by Hoshi in his stream right before starting the event. Gave us the full rundown, but if you weren't there for that, there's a good chance that you may have missed it. But anyways, we are now at the border of the sandy part of the desert. So yeah, that's the first decent bit done here. And anybody who got messed up doing the first section here, especially doing the slightly chaotic start, will soon have an option to at least repair there. Not ideal. Ideally, we would like to maybe have another one somewhere closer to the beginning, but with how the parking spots work out, and you will always need one to get your car back in position, that was really the best that we could do. Anyways, yeah, harsh corner coming up there. But we are also just, I think, doing pretty well at this point. Also finally getting an update on the positions. Also listen to this real quick. As I mentioned, there was one person in the V12 and it was really easy to tell once you got close to them. I didn't really have the time to go and kick them. I didn't really even have the time to type in chat, because I'm a very slow typer, so all I could do is V12. And in the end, while it's definitely something that should be disqualified, I wouldn't have minded too much if they just kept racing with us and, I don't know, got to the end, but then maybe just got told that their position is invalid, whatever. But yeah, I'm now in 7th position apparently, or even 8th at this point, which is actually pretty good because there is a challenge coming up. We have 3 challenges around the race route here, and they all work in a similar way, that only the first few people have to participate in them. The first one is for the first 6 people, so as long as I'm 7th or lower, I don't really need to go in there. But since I'm about to get back into a 6th position, that means I will have to do the challenge. The first one will be going to one of the desert houses, getting out of the car, and getting into a Stella that's parked there, putting that onto a trailer, and that's gonna be the whole thing. They are pretty simple and straightforward, but still they take some time. And if you're fighting for a 6th position, you might be better off in 7th, because you're definitely gonna make back the space while the other guy has to go do whatever is required at that point. But yeah, we are now on the first hill dirt part here. Unlike with the last event, for this one I'm using performance tires. I'm just relying on my suspension and also just the all-wheel drive capabilities of my car to be able to do this well. And as you've seen, I've been taking a few positions there, which I'm also kind of cursing at this point because I know this is going to cost me in a moment. But hey, it's not really too much of a serious event, it's partially for fun, so that's also why we got these additional challenges to begin with. For a real FIA approved event or whatever the Motortown equivalent for that could be, this wouldn't really be flying. Same with the Le Mans start. But hey, we are here to have some fun and we are about to get into the first challenge. I try going off the track real early, braking early, and then getting rear-ended before being able to get out of the car. So this is where I got my damage for the radiator. I got into the second to last car remaining, and I'm just going to go on to this trailer here. The other one for me is just desynced for some reason. The ramps should all be down, but yeah, it doesn't look like it for me. So now running back to the car and continuing the race. It was also my decision to get the car set up like that. Initially the trailer was at the front, the cars were at the back, but I thought it would be easier to see if the cars were at the front, but that also means that the whole braking zone is kind of different, and that wasn't really to my benefit at the end. And yeah, at this point the V12 driver got kicked out, which I think is fair enough. And I'm quite a few positions down due to the lengthy challenge, while most people after me just could be driving past me. Getting back on the road now after this epic drift. Just checking behind to make sure that nobody's following. The next event is going to be in Jeju City, so this is going to take quite a long while before we get there, so nothing to really fear right now, apart from other participants. And also I should mention, this is happening on the regular Hoki server. So while we have most people participating in the event, it's in the end only 35 out of 48 that are on the server right now. The rest are still doing their thing, and yeah, there may be a few run-ins with those and event participants, so we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, we are going to come to towards Gappa right now, or very soon at least. And in this event we are actually just running past it. We are not turning right at the next intersection and going through that dirt section as well. Which I'm kinda happy about, because I wouldn't have checkpoints to spare in order to make that work. Also, that's a really rough section for suspensions and everything. So this might be the more this might be the nicer route for a lot of people, including myself here. Really were merciful by not picking Gappa and instead going just past it. But yeah, being in the top 10 of such a large field is still going pretty well. With a TWL event where we usually have less than half the amount of people or somewhere around that, it's usually not that great of a position, but right now with how everything is going, this is really everything that I could be hoping for. Especially knowing that there is a high caliber of other drivers around there. So some folks from TWL made their way into this event, and yeah, they are expected to be finishing at the top here. And this is where we go back to Markovian over here and their immense lag bubble. So I don't know what happened there, that the car just started lagging backwards, but it was scary as hell and I got a bit distracted there, took the corner a bit wrong. Honestly, with people like that, you want to keep your distance and I'm just trying to run away from them. Not taking the next turn too well and just, yeah. Basically ending right back up where I was in their immediate vicinity. I don't want to blame anybody for that, the internet connection issues, it's just... It sucks, not really too much that you can do about it. But yeah, my attempt at running away from them didn't really work. And I felt at this point I was really having the better pace. But yeah, now I have to get past them, and with a lag bubble that's always going to be a lot more difficult. Unless they do something like this, in which case, yeah, much easier. Also, I would really like to see the dashcam footage of that taxi driver, because that dude is in for a surprise with approximately 30 more people coming their way in a moment. But yeah, at this point I'm going to go for a little refueling break here. Again, this would be another location where I could be going for repairs, but so far I didn't have any problems with my radiator and therefore I'm not going to bother with that right now. Seems to be alright, so let's go on to the next section, which is going to be the medium dirt section. Something that I really love about the area, it's so fun with the right vehicle if you can really cut loose. Also catching back up to Markovian right away while also spinning out in a really unfortunate manner. But yeah, the whole lag bubble thing, it's going to be the theme for the upcoming section, quite sadly. I don't even know what's going on there. Seems like the dude is waiting for me, and I'm absolutely terrified at this point. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay clear of them and make my way. Hopefully without any incidents, but yeah. Trying to find a way past for quick and easy overtake. And that seemed like it, but then, yeah, this happened. Nothing too bad. Still okay, but yeah, you see just how they are lagging out and everything. It's next corner, same problem and even worse than before. Throwing me across the track and I'm just trying to get back there without having to use the respawn. So now we have Ruben Edgar right next to me. And this is another person with a lag bubble towards me. Again, this might not even be something that happens between every single participant and that one person, but might be between two specific ones that just have a weird connection issue towards each other. But yeah, being in a group with two of these, it's just not going to be too much fun here. So at this point I'm really driving like hell in order to try and escape from them, because I don't want anything to do with that. It's not going to be fun for anybody if we are stuck together like this. Yeah, might be slightly overcooking it for the corner. Never mind, this is going well. I really spent a lot of time trying to get the car dialed in so that it can can deal with these kind of things and also just pull me back straight if I end up spinning out. Doesn't always work too graciously, like with this one. I had to go with a handbrake, but it worked out in the end. And yeah, this is one of those instances where we are just stuck right next to each other. And got really taken out and taken for a ride into the scenery here. The thing is, since I had this incident, Mokovian also got the chance to catch back up again. And I'm just like, nope, 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 get me away from here, get me away. I don't want this. I don't want this to be the entire event. So yeah, I'm just bum rushing, trying to get past here. I mean, of course, the other option would be falling behind, but I felt I had a good pace compared to them, so in the end, unless I want to slow down for the rest of the event, going faster than them seems to be the way to go here. I mean, honestly, I don't even know how good the Mammoth is overall. It should be a bit slower due to its weight, but yeah, there are a lot of factors in here. Again, slightly overcooked it, and Mokovian is in front of me again, with Ruben Edgar right next to me. I'm going to stay on the road here. I don't really like that shortcut, even though it might shave off a second or two. But yeah, I rather prefer the dirt road than just going off into that part. I think Mokovian may have overcooked it here, so they are falling behind. Might not be a problem anymore from here on. But yeah, I still have to get past Ruben Edgar with their massively sized vehicle here. And yeah, that lag bubble doesn't seem to be quite as big, but you've already seen how we stuck together on that one corner, so I would like to not have a repeat of that. Meanwhile, we are still in the top 10, so this is all working out really well in the end. And we are now up on our way out of OG. So following the coastal road up until the next intersection where we can turn off towards the highway and finally make our way to Jeju. But yeah, that's what will be happening in a bit here. Right now I'm just once again trying to get clear of anybody who is laggy towards me, because I'm a bit terrified of that, as I mentioned before. But yeah, taking some risky lines through this section, but it seems to be working out in the end. Coming up to a few sharper corners in a moment. Also put on another checkpoint there so that people cannot just skip it. Otherwise, going straight over here might have been a good choice, but yeah, also, I don't know what that braking was, but it was really breaking my pace at that point. And yeah, going slightly more inlands now with this road over here. And towards the turn-off point towards the highway, or onto the highway. There's going to be one major incident before that though, and it's about to come up over here. And it's this one right here. I don't know what I did here. It was just annoying. And most importantly, I damaged my engine before the fastest straight line part of the entire route here. If there's one thing that could throw me the race, it was this one right here, and I got really annoyed with myself in that moment. Going off that turn was so stupid. I've done that turn a lot of times and I never had that happen. But of course, during the race, it just, well, maybe I underestimated the turn at that point. Who knows? But yeah, going onto the highway now, it's going to be almost 3 kilometers or maybe even slightly more than that according um, to the distance marker in the bottom left. I think it's kind of malfunctioning, so wouldn't really pay too much attention to that because it's not going to be that much of a detour towards the checkpoint. But yeah, we are pretty much in the clear for now. Nobody really ahead of me for the next 700 meters, and behind me kind of the same thing, I guess. So this is a bit of breathing room, but also an occasion where I could just overheat my engine. So gotta be careful, and apparently I wasn't. There are slight overheating issues, but since we are about to get to Lijo Island, that means we are also about to get to a lot of possible repair locations. Next checkpoint up ahead. Next person also pretty close there. And I think that dude just took a little refueling break, which I don't really even need all that much because, well, the N4 GT has a massively sized fuel tank. So one fuel pause was enough for the event, and I already did that at Baiyang. So this is all going pretty well right now. And yeah, I'm somewhat on pace to catch up to Pablo over there. Also in an N4 GT, so this should be a really even battle. And you know what? Setting up Brutus at that point, at pretty much the halfway marker between everything here, that was a pretty good choice there. Also almost ran into that compact heat driven by another player. Again, with there being non-event participants on the map, there are going to be a few run-ins here and there. We are covering almost the entire island, so or even the entire map here. So something is to be expected. Time to turn off for a scheduled repair break over here. Also got a Brutus setup so that people who needed refueling could also do the same at this point. And my Campy is actually standing in the back part here, so that's with a 4 repair base. But yeah, doesn't really matter because I got my repair in at that point. Another person to the side of the road, but a non-event participant. Also another guy coming up behind me, but we should be able to steer clear of him. Another person over there on the side of the road, but likely they are just making space for any event racer right now, so yeah, that's always appreciated. Especially if about to be a whole field coming through there. Another one up ahead. So yeah, on Jeju, naturally you are going to see a few more people. But as long as they're not actively sabotaging in any way, everything should be good. And why would they be doing that? But yeah, we are going to go into the last real dirt section on this journey right now. And I'm really happy that this was kept in. There were a few drafts of the initial route that didn't include this part. But I think for balancing it out between on-road and off-road sections, this was really important. I wouldn't say that this would make off-road tires too viable for this one because of just the sheer length of on-road sections and everything. But at the very least, I think if you want to have mixed surface, there should be a decent amount of it in there. And this definitely makes at least considerations for off-roading viable, like setting up your car in off-road matters so that you can deal with that. So yeah, let's see. Pablo again quite far ahead of me, so unlikely that I'll be able to get them. Arson in front of me, not really part of the event. You can see that in the bottom left there should be a number above their icon. But as there isn't, they aren't really in the event. So might just be running along for the fun of it. But yeah, this dirt road is also quite a bit more rough than the other ones, so gotta be careful here. At least it feels a bit more rough, but might also be down to it being a tiny bit more narrow and also, yeah, more twisty than on OG. And of course I managed to not only spin it out, but also flip it over at the end of that. So that was something. Thankfully no major damage was done, and even if there's a repair place coming up. Also the second challenge here, which I don't need to participate in because that only is for the top 4 people. So that would be taking the box from the left and bringing it over to the other vehicle. At this point it's weird that there are 4, or that there's still 1 left. The first 4 people should have taken care of everyone there, but or everything there, it's just for some reason 1 got left over. Don't know what that's about. Okay, anyways, this is something to mention here. First up, I overtook Pablo at the Jeju repair station and everything, since I didn't need repair or refueling. And also raging up there officially in place 22. And this is kinda sad. Raging had to disconnect earlier, was fighting for podium. And yeah, with disconnect, if you reconnect, apparently you are still somewhat in the event, at least the game recognizes that. I don't know if he still got the checkpoints visible or anything, but his position doesn't really update anymore. So as soon as he disconnected, basically he's going to be counted as if he reached the checkpoints that he had at that point, but it doesn't update any further, and that's a kind shame really. But yeah, we are on the uphill Toge section. This still feels good in the car, although at this point I'm kinda throwing it around, trying to get it through the turns because it's not really all that nimble. But for the uphill section, nothing really too crazy. It's all working out pretty well so far. I am in a good position, and it's going nicely right now, even though there are 2 people behind me, Pablo and Chessbot, and Chess of course being from the TWL server, so we are about to either surrender a position or have a fight on our hands. Also going into the snow section right now, and this is hard to deal with. Got slightly bumped going into the barrier on the other side. Doesn't really matter too much. I'm still up in front, and yeah, this is another good location for 4-wheel drive vehicles, except unless if you do something like this. So yeah, Chess is over there. I basically almost gave up my position here, but I'm fighting to still keep it after all. And again, listen to the engine. That is not a V8, that's actually an inline 4. So Chess going for a very different tactic here, and it seems to be working quite well because he's in the top 10 and about to possibly take a position for me. And yeah, I'm throwing my car around in all sorts of crazy manner because I'm just trying to get through the turns here. And at this point, honestly, this might be where the stronger V8s are actually at a bit of a disadvantage. I mean, you can get huge acceleration out of the corners, but it really doesn't feel like you are doing anything here in a smooth way. Throwing the car into the corner to make it turn, having to brake really hard in order to prepare for the next corner. It's not really a smooth experience. And all that while Chess is keeping up, having his shadow right behind me, and also, yeah, I don't know how that happened. Must have gotten caught on the side of the road there. So yeah, at this point this is kinda really stressful and I'm trying to keep it together, but yeah, I think this is also where I get a bit exhausted after the past event and how long this one has been going on. This is, after all, a massively long route. And I was hoping for maybe a bit more time between the events to calm down and yeah, just reorganize myself a bit. So yeah, I'm definitely slipping at this point, and Chess is just keeping his distance, going for an overtake here, which I don't think I can even battle at this point. I'm also trying to not completely wreck him, because that would be really unfair and unfun. So yeah, I don't know if I'll even be able to keep up with him, despite me being in a much more powerful car. So that might be GG for this little battle. Which, to be fair... Okay, this is definitely the end of that. But yeah, to be fair, I've kept up a good battle from the top of the mountain to basically the bottom of it, so... This still counts for something. Was pretty fun in the end. But also goes to show that I don't even have a large lag bubble with everybody on the route. It's not really my internet connection. Chess is from the USA, so that's... yeah, I mean... that's quite the distance to me. But yeah, that worked out pretty well in the end. We had a nice little battle, and now everybody is still continuing the race without major damage to the vehicle. And we are about to come on to the last bit of it. Anson Raceway. So going back onto the highway, another fast and straight section, even though it's going to be quite a bit shorter than the last one. And then actually going onto the track and making a lap around it, with the start-finish line of the track being the finish for the entire event. There's going to be another challenge at the entrance of there. And it's, well... it's the one that seemed to be the most laggy, because all you're supposed to do is go past the pit lane, and if you see a cone there, you are supposed to run it over. The thing is, everybody in the top 5 is supposed to run over one cone, because there are 5 cones. And if you go to the first cone that you see, and you see another one behind it, you are supposed to go to that. So the driver in first is supposed to take the one furthest away, then the second one is going to take the second cone, and so on and so forth. And as I come past here, I take a look at the cones, and I notice they are all still there. I'm of course in 8th position right now. I didn't have any obligation to take any of the cones. But I go for this one anyways, so that's gonna take a bit of time off. But yeah, I just felt like doing the challenge at least a little bit. The thing is, there's still other people in front of me and decently close to me, so maybe I could have saved myself that and potentially gone for another overtake, but at this point, I mean, you've seen how much I failed at the highway exit, where I'm kinda cooked at this point. Also, Hoki just entered the track, so... and also, I don't know what's going on there. Again, I'm done. My brain is liquefying and coming out of my ears at that point of the race. I'm so finished with it. It was a lot of fun, but it was an exhausting day. And yeah, that's really. It's been down to me pushing to get the rally event hosted on that same day. I just wanted to get it done. Have been delaying it too much up until this point, partially because of my PC problems back in the day. So I took the first chance that I could to finally get it hosted. And it happening on the same day as something as massive as this event was maybe a miscalculation on my part. But yeah, doing the last few chicanes, coming around the last corner, and then finishing on the main straight of this track over here. Hokey just behind me a few seconds, but nothing really that can change the outcome of this event anymore. So in the end, I made it in 8th place, which I highly appreciate, partially because that's the number on my car. Really though, let's be clear, raging would have been somewhere among the top few if he didn't disconnect. So I'm really in 9th position, Hokey is in 10th, and everybody else is coming in after that. Okay, anyways, this is it for this event. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty exhausting, but yeah, I'm absolutely happy that I helped put this together, that I participated. It was such a blast, and I'm looking forward to whatever is coming next here. Because with this kind of stuff, Hokey and the community, we are really cooking here. So yeah. In the end, again, there are a few slight things that happened, a few laggy incidents that you can't really avoid. It's been the same in other games like GTA. I had that stuff happen way too often there, and it's just how it is. So overall, the game worked out pretty well, despite there being a few minor hiccups. From what I can tell, the cones at the end, maybe the server was just a bit overloaded and therefore didn't update them anymore. But from what I heard, people, or at least some people, have taken the cone challenge. And even after I got back to the cones at the end, the one that I drove over was standing again. So something was definitely up with that. In the end, it was all for good fun, and yeah. That's really all that I can say about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next one, have a good one, and bye bye.